Yeah, we've been covering a lot of interesting stories here at the U.S. Open at Shinnecock Hills, but we just discovered the Minnesota 10. Now, I see the Minnesota 4 here. I don't see the Minnesota 10. And Lee, who is one of our people here, who works also with the USGA, said, Ernie, Bruce is in charge of the Minnesota 10, and those guys have a great story. So
in charge is not accurate.
I have no idea what you're going to say, Bruce, but I'm dying to know the Minnesota 10.
My title is the Grand Poobah, please. Oh, so just want you to know that. In 1991, the U.S. Open was at Hazeltine, and we had about 25 volunteers. A friend of mine was a member there, asked me to set up a group, and here's another member.
So now we've got 5. We're
Yeah,
getting closer.
we're getting closer.
We're getting closer to that 10, so please.
So we ended up working there, and the following year was at Pebble Beach, and the director of marketing, her name was Diane Stracuzzi, came and worked with us for a week, and we worked with her, and she thought we had a sense of humor, and we were very good at verbal abuse, and so she invited us to go out there and join them, because Pebble at that time had the Bing Crosby, which needed 3,000 volunteers, and then they needed another 3,000 3 months later for the U.S. Open. And she said, would you guys consider coming out to volunteer at the U.S. Open at Pebble Beach? And we went, Pebble Beach? Oh, okay. Okay.
Well,
and so we did that.
It's not Minnesota, but it's okay.
And there were 10 of us. And so after that, the USGA, now we're there 2 years. We showed up. We were from Minnesota. We showed up on time. We knew what we were doing. They didn't have to retrain us. And they thought that was pretty neat, because volunteers are usually very good or not so good. And so they liked the fact that we were there, as we should be, every single day. So they asked us to go the following year.
You guys do a great job. Very official looking. What's your name, sir?
Bob Sigurd.
And Bob, what do you do in your volunteer capacity?
Well, one of my main jobs is to drive the players from the locker room down here for interviews.
Very important. A good man to know.
Oh, he is.
He might give me a tip on who's coming, but you never know. Maybe next one, 2026. And Daryl, good to meet you.
Nice meeting you as well.
And
I have
you have
various
the complaint
functions.
desk, I see.
Yes, I'm in charge of the complaint desk, and we don't answer the questions. That's all there is to it.
And Jay?
I'm Jay Donlin. I'm one of the rookies here. I've only been doing this for about 7 years. Understand these guys are the originals, 28 years that they've been doing this now. So I just take orders and do whatever they say, and try and keep my nose clean. That's about it.
Tell them about Inside the Ropes. I think that
Inside the Ropes is kind of a neat benefit that we have. We walk with the media in support of just making sure they're going down the not going down the middle of the fairway and kind of staying out of the way of the players and being where they're supposed to be. And it is a real nice privilege. We love it.
Excellent, excellent. And Bruce, you mentioned this is another part of your team.
My name's Craig. I'm a relative rookie like Jay, and I think my favorite task is the under the ropes, guiding the cameramen, the photographers, making sure they're in the right spots, making sure they get the best shots they can get.
Excellent. Yeah. We were mentioning this earlier. It's a not-for-profit, the USGA.
right.
And what you guys do as volunteers, if not for you, this wouldn't be possible. So we're looking forward. Now, next year, speaking of Pebble Beach, isn't it next year?
It is at Pebble. You
Wow.
bet.
So you guys have come full circle.
Well, this is our 3rd time here. We've been to this event here 3 times, and then
Yes.
we've been to Bethpage once. So
Yes,
we've been
Bethpage.
visited this area 4 times. It's been great.
Wow.
We like paces.
Wow. Hey, Bruce, we have a new addition to our group of 10.
One of my original members of the Minnesota 10, Pat Logan, joined us after coming back from Desert Storm on a Friday, and he joined us on the weekend in 1991.
You must really love golf.
I do love golf, but when Bruce called me up, he said, what are you doing this next week? I said, well, I got a month off. I just came back from Storm. He said, good, I'll pick your butt up and we're going to go over and work the media center. And I said, okay, I can do that. So I've been doing that was 1991 and been doing it ever since. We've had some fabulous, fabulous times. I mean, it's the stories that we have behind the scenes we could do a book on. In fact, they're talking about doing a book on us now for when we come up on our 29th year at Pebble Beach.
And that's where it started, Pebble Beach.
Well, actually, it started at Hazeltine.
Oh, Hazeltine was where it started.
It was started.
But the first one you did outside of your
Yep.
home bases
Was Pebble Beach. Yeah, and that was tremendous. They set us up in a dormitory, a boys' dormitory out there, and that's where we stayed. And
Did you ever envision that it was going to grow to this?
no,
I mean, this is unbelievable, isn't it?
Yeah, and then we, when we asked, we all got called in at Baltusrol, and David Fay talked to us, and he said, gentlemen, he said, what do you feel you need to financially to do what you're doing? And we said, we don't want any money. He said, I love you guys. He said, now you're permanent employees of the United States Golf Association.
Well,
So
it's the honor that you guys are part of it, and it is true, it's volunteer, but let me tell you, there are more than a few people that would, and you guys do pay because you're here for so many hours and you give so much, because there's no way you can capture this experience.
It's the love of the game for sure.
What does it mean? Well, just to wrap up here, because we've been covering the event the past couple of days. I mean, what does the U.S. Open mean to you?
Well, our
Let's start
job.
with you, Bruce.
Our job is to make this the best media center. Make these folks out here their job as easy as we possibly can. Make it as efficient. Let them allow them to get the story as fast and as quick as they can. If they run into problems, we're here to solve them. And to me personally, I want to be involved with the best media center over the Masters, over the Open, and over the PGA Championship, and that's kind of what we work towards. That's really important to us.
When I came back from Desert Storm, I went full-time police officer. So one of my jobs was, when we got out here, is they'd have me go out with whoever had the largest group. So I would work with them because it was nice having an extra cop.
How many years were you with Tiger?
Oh, 15 plus.
So he's inside the ropes, guiding the photographers.
Yeah,
15 years.
taking care of the incidents inside the rope if there's any. And
Just the logistics of it all. I mean, we're TV, we know what's involved. Just to make this happen, and you mentioned security, and you mentioned all the other things, for all of it to come together. And you guys play an important role, so I'm looking forward to next year, Pebble Beach. And,
Well, we're going to invite you to come on. I might get you a free pass.
well, I'd have to be part of the Brooklyn too.
Oh, yeah, or exactly. Well,
Although
there
there
you
is
go.
a Brooklyn, Minnesota, isn't there? I think
Brooklyn Park.
Well, I thought we're close. Maybe
Yeah,
we'll get
and
in.
Brooklyn Center, we have two.
We'll get in under that technicality.
Ernie, I just want you to know that you can't leave without saying hi to our best driver, Bob Melander. We only have two, but he's the best.
I'll pay you later.
All the way from Minnesota. What part of Minnesota are you from?
Suburb of Minneapolis.
Good golf in Minnesota, guys?
A few months of the year, yes.
We have the highest per capita of golfers in the United States.
Wow. Well, thank you for bringing your love of the sport here to Southampton, New York. And
Well, we love serving the USGA in any way we can, and we just get a big kick out of it.
thank you for joining us for our behind-the-scenes coverage of the U.S. Open 118th edition here at Shinnecock Hills Golf Course in Southampton, New York. The next time the U.S. Open will be joining us will be in 2026. For WVVH-TV, I'm Ernie Shimizi. Thank you for joining us.